Welcome back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna and I'm back with another video. For today's video is discernment. So discernment is a gift from the Holy Spirit that can help people determine the true nature of a person, a thing, or situation, to identify good and bad, good or bad. This is something every Christian should ask God for if you don't have it, because it is needed in everyday life, especially on this journey, so you can discern who is truly of God, who's not of God. You know, you can save yourself from people who mean you no good. I had this gift since I was a child, but I didn't know what it was, nor did I put too much thought into it. Recently, I found out that discernment was the name of what I had been experiencing all my life. Having discernment can be difficult, okay, and it can be frustrating because people can fake so well, and you will want to like them, but you know that they are not who they claim to be. So when this happens, people will look at you like, well, why do you don't like her? She's so nice. Not like, but you know, what is it about her that you saying, you know, ain't nothing happened? I feel it. You know, the Holy Spirit nudged me and let me know that this person is not who they claim to be. This person does not have your best interests, even though it don't look like it on the outside, baby. It's on the inside, because we know the Lord searches what's inside, not out. So most people with discernment don't have a lot of friends because they know who doesn't mean them well. And believe it or not, in this world, most people don't mean us well. It's just sad, but it's the truth. Another difficult thing with discernment is those who don't have it just think you're the problem. You know, they think you just like don't like anyone, or think you're just crazy, or you're tripping. But you will almost always be right. Then eventually people will start believing and trusting your judgment. I have a friend that I've been friends with since high school, and I used to always try to tell her about certain situations, certain friends, and she used to be like, she used to think I was tripping at first, like, girl, you crazy, you think everybody just like out to get you, you think everybody just. And then when the things start to become true, she was like, I don't even question you no more at this point, because you do be right about some stuff. And I'm like, girl, now I know it's discernment. I didn't know what it was back then. And you know, I could always tell, like, if someone didn't like me, if someone is jealous of me, when someone is competing with me, when someone is fake, if someone wants my partner, if someone was not a real friend, when I was feeling like danger was ahead, if I was being cheated on in a relationship. Like, I always had a feeling in my gut like something ain't right. And discernment has saved me from so many things. Some people will describe it as being paranoid as well, or like I said, thinking that everyone is out to get you or something of that sort. But to get into a few examples that I've experienced with discernment, I'm going to be reading. So around 2019, 2020, I was a partier, as I always say, and I was out with my cousin, and I had told him that I was going to the car. Why was I going to the car? I don't even remember, but we separated, and I was going to go back to the parking lot, and the parking lot is like away from the club, you know what I'm saying? It's like ducked off, and it's a little dark over there and stuff like that. So as I'm walking to the parking lot, there's a man following me. He's very tall, he's Caucasian, and he's walking like in a fast manner, and I seen him on the side of my eye. I don't even know what made me look, but I seen him on the side of my eye, and he's like walking fast, but he's not running, but it's like he's trying to catch up to me. But I felt the energy, and it was demonic. Like, I felt negative energy, like, this man, I think, is going to try to harm me once I get to this parking lot. He is following me. I'm turning corners, he's turning corners. Like I said, I don't even know what made me see him or look on the side of my eye. And even me looking on the side of my eye, something about him stood out to me. So he's turning every corner that I'm turning. I ran across the street so fast, y'all. I ran across the opposite street, because like the more we're walking, the less and less people is getting. You know, the darker it's getting, the closer we're getting to the parking lot. So I ran across the street. It was a few people across the street walking. I ran across the street and went the opposite way. I didn't even look back. I ran so fast. I didn't look back to see if he was following me, which I doubt, because he probably would have been able to get me. Or I'm pretty sure he noticed that I noticed that he was following me. That situation like terrified me, and I just knew that I was in danger. You know what I'm saying? Without anything having to happen, the Holy Spirit nudged me. I knew that I was in danger, And I remember I told my friend this, and she was thinking nothing of it. And she was like, how do you know? I'm like, I just know. I felt danger. Like, I felt like I was in danger. Like, you know, it's like hard to explain to people that don't have discernment or don't get it, you know. Another situation, like 2018, I was going to get my hair done. This was my first time going to this lady, but she was a trusted source, and it was at her home. And I went to knock on the door, and the door was open. I'm knocked, and like the door was already open. It creaked open, and I'm like, hello? Nobody's saying nothing. And I'm like, I ran down them stairs so fast and got in my car, called the lady, like, which one is your home? And it ended up being the wrong place. I was at the wrong house. I even told her what happened. She said, oh my goodness, that's so scary. But had I went into that home, you know, I can't tell y'all if somebody was in there, but I felt danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a scary movie. Like, I think somebody, if I walk into this house, I think something's probably going to happen to me. They probably like, you know, somebody probably seen me like, oh, she at the wrong house, a young girl, you know, do like, if she probably gonna come in. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not going in. I ran down them stairs so fast, baby. I can't tell you that someone was on the other side of that door, but I felt like I was in danger. Another situation a few years ago, before me and my fiance got back together, there was a guy that I was talking to. And the guy was taking me out on dates. He was buying me flowers. There was something off though. Something was off, but he was moving too fast and asked me to be his girlfriend. I barely knew him, but something was off. And I'm like, there is something off about this guy. I just can't. And I ended up, someone ended up telling me that the guy was rapist. And it was crazy because I had been around this guy alone. Nothing happened between us, but he had the opportunity to do something to me if he wanted to. And I honestly think if that statement was true, which I believe it was, based off some of the things I realized that the guy had said, if that statement was true, what probably scared him away is I had a lot of male cousins, and I lived with my father at that time. And one of the times we were going on a date, he picked me up. He like, who was all these guys? And I'm like, oh, those are my cousins. That's my dad. Yep, I live with my dad. And we got like 7 dudes walking in the door. That was a time, you know, before anybody even had told me that about him, I'm like, something is off about this guy. So I ended up cutting the guy off. But in that situation, that's the situation where something, you know, I was able to prove, like, I knew something was off. I couldn't put a finger on it, but somebody else ended up confirming to me, well, telling me something, you know. Even if it wasn't true, if you got some accusations like that on your name, I'm cool on you, because I ain't even trying to find out. Okay. No. Okay, so now some of this stuff may sound like common sense to some people, but surprisingly it's not. Because when I tell you some of these stories, a lot of people, like I said, they think nothing of it. But when I think of these stories, I get chills, because I just knew that trouble was lying ahead. And even though I couldn't prove it, I know that my judgment was correct, because I didn't get those feelings for no reason. The Holy Spirit was nudging me. And it's just absolutely, that's why people say, like, when you get a gut feeling, do not ignore it, because those gut feelings are discernment. That's discernment, baby. And it's just amazing the connections that we have with the Lord, and we need to be utilizing them. So if you don't got discernment, you should ask the Lord for discernment. I'm telling you, he done told me about friends that I ain't had no business being friends with. It's a great thing to have. You know, it can get lonely down the road, because you'll be finding yourself cutting people off left and right, because God gonna be exposing left and right, baby. And people ain't always who they claim to be. Things ain't always who they claim to be. So, but yeah, we ask the Lord for discernment, y'all. But if this word is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all. God bless.